Now I'm going to show you how to dehusk a coconut using a screwdriver. Here's a screwdriver that's about a foot long, and that's a coconut. And a coconut, you'll find, has a blunt end and a sharp end. The actual nut part is closer to the sharp end, and there's more husk near the blunt end. So you're better off trying to loosen up the husk for starters. If you're a beginner, this is the best thing to do. If you are used to it, you can actually go straight for the dehusking part. But anyway, this way to start is near the blunt end, and make parallel cuts and lift the husk off and loosen it, so it makes it easier to ultimately lift off the husk from the coconut. The husk itself is actually quite loosely attached to the coconut, provided you pull it off in a longitudinal direction, that is from the blunt end side to the sharp end side. It sort of peels off very easily. There's a little layer of coconut, there's a little layer of husk attached to the coconut that comes off very easily, which you can see a little later on in this video. In any case, I've gone all the way around. I've loosened up the husk using the screwdriver for leverage. The next thing to do is to bang the screwdriver in right up to where the coconut is, and then start lifting the husk off from the coconut. This is the real effective bit. This is the bit that actually gets the husk right off. Bang the screwdriver in right up to the nut and then lift it off. And it can be done this way as well after a stage. Go in the little gap between the husk and the coconut and yank. Pull it, and you can feel it ripping apart quite easily. But unless you go into the space between the nut and the husk, you're not going to get anywhere. If you just go into the husk and try and peel it off, you'll never make it. So you got to get right up to the nut and lift the husk off. Once again, getting into the gap between the husk and the actual hard nut and pulling, ripping the husk off the nut. It's not too difficult actually after a stage, provided you're in the right plane. There, you can see how easily it comes off. Be careful you don't injure yourself with the screwdriver. It is possible for the screwdriver to slip, and then you can actually cut an artery or something in your hand. So you've got to be very careful when you do this. But if you're doing this for survival, it's a risk you got to take, especially if you're unlucky enough to land in an uninhabited island in this day and age. And there, now you can see how easily the husk is coming off the coconut. There, that's out now. Just clear out a little bit of the fiber. Now I'll show you how to actually break the coconut open. Each coconut has 3 seams, little raised ridges, and you got to bang the seam down on a hard surface. If you bang the seam down, the coconut breaks in half, like so. Collect the liquid quickly. And then if you don't want the liquid, let it flow out, and then you got the flesh inside, and the coconut's broken in half. This one broke longitudinally, but it usually breaks the other way at right angles.